So, I'm going to preface this video by saying if you don't have the time to watch somewhat of a long video, then this one's probably not for you. The theme of this is, do you know what it's like to have a story to tell, but no one to tell it to?
Real fresh psycho. Fresh psycho. Psycho. Real psycho. Real fresh psycho. Psycho. Real psychopath.
Play Doctor Entertainment.
When I first started making music about 15, almost 16 years ago, I went by the name Chronic Doom. When I had my very first show, I kind of got fucked from the beginning. I had a crew of followers, friends, fans, and they all showed up, turned out for the first one. And unfortunately, something happened. So basically, there was liquor involved, and one of our friends, female, literally 100 pounds soaking wet, small chick, she got a little too drunk. And the sound guy decided it would be a good idea to reach down with some ice, rub it on her chest, and cop a fia. Well, people, specifically her boyfriend, didn't think that was cool. So a fight broke out while I was on stage. I knew my people could handle their shit, so I continued to perform. Well, what ended up happening was the barista that was working behind the counter freaked the fuck out and told the owner of the joint. The owner just so happened to be a judge. He told one of his friends that ran a little page in my area called Brownsville Cheesemint. And basically, it was a rumors and gossip page. This guy posted anything from fights to car crashes, people dying and shit, and no regard for the families or anything like that. Yet he decided to write an article about me, saying that my music was too extreme. My music caused people to fight, caused chaos, anger, hatred, and had no place in this city. That article prevented me from so many opportunities in my area. Now, a lot of people believe that San Antonio is South Texas. Well, allow me to show you roughly where I'm at and where I started my music career. Now that we have that settled, I guess you could say, and you understand how far away I am from the actual scene, people that would actually appreciate the music that I make, you can see how difficult it was to really even start properly in this game, you know? Kind of almost felt like from the beginning, I was kind of damned. Now, moving on from that first show, like I said, I had a group of friends. A lot of those friends picked up rapping shortly after I did. We made several groups. We made Binded by Fate, which was Big P and the AZN. They made their own little rap group. We had RPG. We called it Rocket Propelled Gangstas. You know, we were so inspired by ICP and Psychopathic and everything. So we thought, if we do something similar to them, you know, not only would it pay homage, but we could do it with what we felt we loved to do, you know. So we had Terrorize, who was a solo artist, Big P, AZN, like I mentioned before, Chronic Doom. Eventually, we gained several more. There was Abacus the Infallible.
And through Abacus the Infallible, I actually met Joe Philo, who was a pretty dope MC, like leagues above the rest of us. And it was tripped out because he was a friend of Abacus, later ended up becoming like a part of our crew.
There was Ashtray. There was Mars. Well, Marte is what he called himself, right? Mars. We had, I want to say, at least like 10 different acts under our label, which was Profound Records at the time. And it was difficult for me because I never did anything like that before. I didn't even know what I was doing with the music myself, let alone trying to kind of handle all these artists and record all these artists and try to design cheaply made Photoshop pictures for these artists. I didn't know shit. I was just trying to live out, my dream and have my friends there with me. So the entire time we were doing shows, we performed at Cena El Rey, which is a place where like the Misfits and the Ramones performed before. We performed at the Drunken Monkey over in, I think it was McAllen. I have a video. It's actually a pretty funny ass video of our little trip going up there.
Fuck!
It's on, bitch, it's on.
How do I know? What is this button back here then?
Don't do it, it just lasers it out.
I did already. It's
We were all fucking drunk, like it was ridiculous. We did shows at South Padre Island and at Anime Convention. We did so many shows all over the valley. I mean, we had local spots, Geeks Coffee Shop, Haven downtown, where we would play every Friday at Haven, every Saturday at Geeks. Like we were doing a lot, But slowly, you know how it goes. People lose interest, and their lives take over, and that's understandable. You can't expect everybody to share the same dream as you. And I wound up alone for the first time. Profound Records basically just fell apart. And I think a lot of it had to do with what happened in 2012.
Dope ass studio, trying to keep my eyes open because.
So in 2012, I got involved with a group of people that honestly, no matter how it developed and how bad it got towards the end, really shaped me into the artist that I became. Double Barrel Entertainment, they had been doing this shit a lot longer than me, and were definitely better artists than I was at the time, So when I got together with them, we spent an entire year literally making a song a day. Like when I got home from work, he had a beat with a hook on the desk ready to go. And it really built a certain type of work ethic for me, where I had to constantly be making something, constantly be doing something. And I leveled up immensely from the first three albums that I came out with to the second three albums that I came out with. Of course, there were several EPs and tons of singles and all sorts of crap in between that, but I kind of break down my music career, if that's what you call it, into sections, right? So the Chronic Doom era was really broken down into two sections, which was the beginning and the end. Um, it's really hard not to lose my train of thought because, I mean, I'm talking about 15, 16 years of history here. And basically, what ends up happening is there's a huge falling out between my crew and their crew. People are threatening people, saying they're going to do this, do that, stab them, blah, 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 all this bullshit. Of course, I wasn't, really one to back down. So, of course, I, bucked up too. And it became this huge ordeal. And unfortunately, that was a big hit to me because while all my guys were kind of like, fucking off, they had always put the weight on me. I was the one that made the shows. I was the one that paid for shit. I was the one that got the CDs, that mixed, that recorded, like paid for all the equipment. I did everything. And it wasn't until I met these other guys that someone was kind of meeting me halfway. Like they weren't really paying for shit, but they were, handling some of the mixing. They were handling the recording, Ever since I could remember, I've been recording myself. And for those who don't make music, you won't really understand. But for those who do, you know how difficult it is to try to time your tracks and do everything when you have to, put your inputs on your keyboard and then rush over to the microphone and then rush back to the keyboard if you fuck up and just the constant running. So that took a huge load off of me. And, like I said, I bared a lot of the weight from the very beginning. And of course, after the article came out and all that, um, it was real difficult for me to find people that wanted to work with me. So when I found them, I was pretty excited about that. Another thing is that I started to lash out a lot. I started to get really angry because I didn't understand what I understand now, and that is you're not entitled to anybody's time. Nobody owes you a follow or a share. Nobody owes you shit, and you have to earn everything. If somebody wants to listen to your shit, you have to earn their time. Back then I felt like, oh, I'm doing this and nobody gives a shit. And it's like, well, of course, nobody even knows who the fuck you are yet, and I got really angry, and I took it out on a lot of people that could have possibly, you know, ended up liking my shit. Potential friends, potential fans, I became a really, really ugly person. I was doing a lot of drugs, which is fine. Everybody, they each their own, but for me, I was doing a lot of heavy drugs, a lot of alcohol, you know, and not just heavy drugs, but the hallucinogens, shrooms, peyote, different shit, whatever I could really get, I was taking, and I just kind of spiraled, and it was kind of a tough time because like I felt like everything was falling apart. Not just because of my actions, but because of everyone else's actions. And of course, after the whole ordeal with Double Barrel and everything, the whole thing kind of did fall apart. I had nobody anymore. It was just me again. And I kind of decided at that time, this was 2013, to kind of like, break away from everything. Shortly before this, Big P ended up overdosing. I believe he was on triple C's. He had like methadone patches on him. He was smoking salvia or that spice shit. I don't remember anymore. And his mom walked in. He was just like on the floor foaming at the mouth and shit. And I remember I was at work when I got the call that happened, and I rushed to the hospital, and he was just like out, like he was not like there anymore, and I thought he was gonna die, but he actually didn't. He came back, and I remember the first thing he told me when he came back. He said, "Bro, I went to fucking hell." It's like, I went to hell. I experienced hell, and he says, "You'll never guess who was there." And I was like, "Who?" And he said, "You were, man. You were there in hell, and I saw you." And I was like, "Bro, what are you doing?" And he said, "I was wearing my mask, my hood, all my shit." And I reached my arm out to him, and I said, "I'm here to save you." And he said when I grabbed his arm and pulled him, that he woke up. The doctor said that he was legally dead, you know. And I guess that was what shook him, you know. And I'm not trying to say that's something, you know, super spiritual or anything, but, you know, my homies, they always knew that no matter what, I was the person that was going to be there for them through thick or through thin, you know. My late uncle taught me a long fucking time ago that even if your homies are wrong, they're right. And you always have their fucking back, you know. So I guess that really resonated with me, and I kind of took it everywhere I went, you know. And at my first show, there were a couple other artists too. I mentioned Abacus, who ended up rolling with us for a while afterwards, AOD, and JJ Paradox, rest in peace. After Peter had his accident in 2013, I got a phone call from my homeboy Combat Carl, and he told me something. I thought he was bullshitting because, you know, we have kind of a dark sense of humor, but I woke up to a phone call saying, "Yo man, JJ's dead." And I was like, "The fuck you mean JJ's dead, right?" Yeah, he got in a car accident coming back from the island, you know. They're saying that he died on impact, and, you know, even at his funeral, they were saying, well, if you drink and you drive and you do these things and you live in sin and all that, man, I couldn't take that shit. I had to stand up and say, you know what, like, regardless of how somebody lives, you know, the fact that they're gone is still a horrible thing, you know. And I don't think it's fair to blame the dead. I don't feel like it's fair to judge the dead and talk shit about, you know, the way they lived, you know, when, I mean, I feel like it's a time to celebrate the way that they lived, you know, whether good or bad. And shortly after that, I kind of fell off, you know. There was a lot of shit going on in my real life, and I never stopped writing or messing with my shit, you know. But for 5 years, I got off all social media, didn't talk to nobody, didn't do shit. Basically went back to civilian life, man. Just work, home, sleep, work, home, sleep. And it wasn't until about 2018 that I got the itch to really come back to music, you know, and not that I ever left, but more so like actually start trying again to share, you know, my shit and do my thing, you know. So in 2018, I hit up homeboy AZN, and I said, look, man, if I buy the equipment and I do everything, you know, will you come back with me? You know, will you come back and make music with me again, man? Because it's hard to do shit alone, you know. Um, man, it's hard, you know, and I don't think people understand or appreciate enough what it's like to have a crew, you know, what it's like to have people that, and don't get me wrong, I've got homies, you know, like I say in all my interviews, you know, Yoshi from Noise Complaint, Grim Ross, you know, my producers, the people that make beats for me, you know, Symbiotic J, Sick Mortem, you know, even Nosferatu, even though for some reason, you know, when I had to take a hiatus recently, I came back and he was like saying like that they got to me or some shit, or I don't know, man. He was tripping hard, and then he just stopped talking to me because I told him, I'm like, look, man, I have a lot of people messaging me and shit right now, but I'm not online, so you can't get mad that I'm not online, you know. But anyway, all that shit aside, it's difficult. So I asked him if he wanted to come back, and sure enough, we made a group called Results May Vary. We only made one EP. It was pretty fresh in my opinion. Mixing sucked, everything else, you know, but it was just fresh, you know, to get back into the studio and do shit with your homies, you know. Shortly after that, he moved a little bit further away, and it was harder to, you know, get in contact. And then, you know, he started his job after he got out of college, and it was just a bunch of shit. So, you know, we ended up stopping that project, and I went back to being solo again. And that was in 2018, 2019. That's when I met Yoshi. He actually popped up on my Facebook feed. Somebody shared one of his beats, and I was like, man, I actually really dig this shit. It was real simple, but it had a real creepy feel to it. And I was like, damn, I didn't think they had any producers like this down here, you know. And you know, just my luck. You know, I start chatting with him. You know, he says, I'll give you a chance. You know, you know, try out this song, try out making a track with this. So I try it out, and motherfucker moves. He moved to Austin. And I was like, damn, dude, he was actually like right here. Yeah, I could have had someone, you know, man. I'm gonna show you guys the studio and see what I built, like from nothing. I built all this from nothing, and I never had no one to share it with, you know. But yeah, so I met him, and that's when I started my hollow era, you know. So after Results May Vary, I started doing the hollow shit. If you can hear it, I don't know if you can in the background, but yeah, that's the hollow shit. You know, I started with Diaries of an Insomniac, which is actually that right there. And the song before that was from Nine Circles, you know, so I started doing that. And you know, I had my problems with distribution. It was real difficult to find my music. Nobody could find it anywhere. I struggled so hard, and it's really easy to just kind of brush past this. But for me, man, it was like life or death. Like I was struggling so hard with my distributor. They had my music under everybody else's name, and it's just been a struggle, you know, the entire time. Especially because, like I said, we're all learning as we go, you know. But it's a lot easier when you have multiple heads trying to figure it out than just one, you know. Trying to figure out, you know, how to mix, trying to figure out how to record properly, and what programs to use, and what software to use, what plugins to use, you know, what hardware to use. Shit. Then you got to figure out distribution. That's its own fucking beast, you know. So I struggled for months and months and months and months trying to get them to just consolidate my music into one place. And it never happened. So this is the part where you guys come in. So before, I want to say I want to say it was like March of 2024. I had like 50 people on my friends list. That's it. 50 people. People that I knew. I didn't trust nobody. I didn't want no fucking friends because you know what? It was just, problems and problems, especially here, you know? Um, this place is full of fucking snakes, and I'm sure it's like that everywhere, but it's real tough to find, down pat people. You know, all of a sudden, around this time, gathering time, everybody knows, much clown love. I just got a shitload of friend requests from juggalos, juggalettes, all sorts of people, just friend requests, friend requests, friend requests. And I got the most love that I got in the 14 years before in this past year. It was fucking fresh. Um, and I appreciate it. I really do. But like I said, it's real tough. And the tough part is doing it by yourself. I want to say in 2022, 2023, I tried again, Plague Doctor Entertainment. I'm still representing. I'll always represent my Plague Doctor Entertainment. But I picked up a few more artists, to kind of not only develop my skill as an engineer, but to push other people's music because I had a distributor with plenty of slots to push other people's music on, and I just felt like it'd be more fun if I had more people, and if we threw a show, we could fill a show by ourselves. And it was just a fucking wet dream, man. Because unfortunately, like I said, people have commitments, and I'm just not one of them. So a lot of people kind of fell off. Other people just started tripping, and it just didn't fucking work, man. But what can you do, right? You can bitch about it, but no one wants to listen to that shit. So anyway, yeah. So back to what I was saying. This whole music shit has been a massive trip, man. Um, I've gone through so much shit, so many fights, you know, bloody knuckles. Shit, when I first started rapping, I had fucking braces, man. Every time I would spit, it would just rip my mouth up. When I first started rapping, I would start the song, 3-4 minute song, right? And I didn't know how to dub. I didn't know how to edit or clip or anything. And I would just go straight through from start to finish. And if I fucked up halfway through, start over. If I fucked up at the end, start over. And it would fuck me up, man. I'm telling you, when I was done, recording a couple tracks for the day, I was spitting blood, you know? But it never mattered because, my dreams were bigger than the pain. My dreams were bigger than anything that I had gone through and anything that I had gone through up to this point. Um, I'm going to give you all a quick walkthrough so you can see what I built. Basically for myself, but I've got my production desk over there. And over here, let's see, you're going the wrong way, fool. Why are you going that way? Let's see, right here, there you go. This is the desk that would have been for an in-house producer. So as you can see, I got the MPC, I got the keyboard, KRK Rocket 8s, shit like that. And then in here, this is my little booth that I made. Made that shit with PVC pipe. My Plague Doctor, Jolly Roger flag over there. So, yeah. Um, just to kind of sum all this up, because I've been going on 30 minutes, and it's probably going to go a little bit longer because I've got little things that I'm going to add in and shit like that. Um, Recently, what happened was I kind of got a little bit of a reality check, right? So it's not like I had a lot of people saying that my shit was fresh, but I did have some, right? I had some people, but it was kind of like, we're gonna tell you that your shit's fresh and then proceed to never listen to it again, And for me, I know that when I find an artist or a band or something that I really fucking enjoy, like I share it with my friends and I continue to listen to it. And like I said, I'm no one's obligated to do that, and I understand. You don't have to do that, and that's fine. But it really takes a lot out of someone to sit here and spend all this money. I'm telling you, like, all this shit, it costs a lot of fucking money, man. Like, a lot of fucking money. And when you're financing it by yourself, you don't got a dream team, you don't got shit. I mean, I don't make a lot of money, man. I make under 30,000 a year. But this is a dream of mine. This was something that I love and that I put all my excess money into. Everything that I had, I put into this shit. And you know, it's rough when you put in that much time and money and effort, and then you put something out and, like, nobody cares, you know. And it's rough. It's rough. And like I said, I'm not mad at anybody for that. That's my fault. That's the risk, that I was willing to take when I started this endeavor, almost 16 years ago. But I kind of had a little bit of a rude awakening because I stepped outside my comfort zone, you know. Um, I don't only make songs about killing, I do make songs that are more emotionally based, talking about mental illness, different shit like that. Of course, I make Halloween tracks, love Halloween, right? But I decided to step outside of my comfort zone and submit a song to they called themselves a reviewer, right? Review, music review. They're always talking like, oh, we always give, some sort of feedback. We're not just here to tell you that you suck and all this other shit. And plus, they were in the gathering group, So I assumed if you're looking for people to submit in the gathering group, you know what the fuck you're getting into, right? Well, I will show you the clips of what they said about horrorcore, which honestly, like, I kind of wish that I could have, said something in the chat or like vocally said something because I couldn't type what I felt.
Suicide Boys type flow.
Yeah, that's how that I was never a big fan of that type of music. Maybe when I was more like middle school or something. No hate, no hate. But it's like more like the mix for me most of the time. It's like reining in. Sometimes I feel like they could go a little harder on some of the productions on some of that music, but that's just me personally. I'd probably give that like a 7 out of 10. It's all right.
Yeah, the mix definitely was off. So I'm not my bad hitting the cone. So I'm not a huge fan of the horrorcore scene as well. It's just not that I don't like the music. It's just not my style of hip hop. But I do want to say one thing about the sub. Wow, about the subgenre is that it is actually a very good subgenre of hip hop to get into because of how loyal the fans are. They don't. So one thing I discovered about horrorcore is they're not critics of a bad mix. They're not critics of necessarily bad bars. If you're saying something that they can relate to in life and you fit in with them, they're going to support the movement as long as you're not a piece of shit. And they're gonna push you heavy. They buy merch, they show up to shows, they support each other. It's actually a really dope genre to get into. I know that there's a lot of bullshit that goes along with it, and I see a lot of the bullshit in the groups and stuff like that. But at the same time, you know, set that aside. If you're an artist looking from a business standpoint, I feel like the horrorcore subgenre of hip hop is actually like maybe one of the best ones for an independent artist to get into.
Yeah, take someone like Tech Nine for example. I'm not saying that is that full crowd. I know he's a little bit different style, but I mean they do lump that into that kind of same
Yeah,
crowd.
he
He has one of the
exactly.
most
Yeah.
loyal fan bases out of any rapper in the industry. Tech Nine, like, just
Yep,
put it that.
exactly. And same with ICP too, bro. Like literal cult following. Like look at what they started. You know what I'm saying? Like
Yeah, like those dudes could literally start a religion and they would follow.
exactly. So like I'm definitely not against it. I think the only like I really wasn't a big um fan of the first verse, especially when it came to the quality, but I feel like the second verse was much tighter in the quality and actually flowed a lot better as well. I'm gonna have to go to 6 out of 10 though, just because if I wouldn't have stuck around on this show, if I wasn't on the show right now and I played that, I probably would have never gotten to the second verse to have a good opinion about the song. That's just my honesty.
Yeah, me too.
When they were saying some shit like, "Oh, horrorcore is a great scene to get into because, people will buy anything. They don't care about lyrics. They don't care about music that sounds good or a good mix. You know, if they feel you, they're just gonna buy all your shit. And you know what? That's fucking bullshit. For one, that's fucking bullshit. I don't appreciate that because to me, horrorcore was more than just a paycheck. I don't give a fuck about a paycheck. Like I say, if I wanted to get rich off of music, why the fuck would I be in horrorcore? It's one of the nichest genres. If anything, you get more hate than anything in this fucking genre, you know? And not from the fans necessarily, but from everybody fucking else. And the clip after that, I will prove that.
I'm the stomping in the attic. Have you checked the children? I know your husband's missing. I'm the one who fucking killed him. Hidden amongst the shadows, pitches black in the dark of night. Ready to creep up on you with some zip ties and a butcher knife. I'm gonna butcher right. Ain't nobody gonna save your life. Better think about it twice before you even try to fight. The opposite of light. Gotta stay hidden out of sight. Till I pop up right behind you, cover your mouth and seal it tight. The chloroform rag, body slip, so gotta drag it out behind the boathouse, chop it up, and then I body bag it. I gotta feed the maggots, can't believe it's kinda tragic how you wound up in this hole beneath the dock or in the attic. I'm like an addict, feeding for another thrill. It's kinda magic, the feeling of another kill. I need a picture, I think I'm gonna jot this down. Another victim, I think I'm gonna help him drown. Night breed, I feed on a nightly. Frightening, don't take this shit lightly. Inject thoughts, fill the head.
All right. All right.
Someone in the comments say, "Oh no,
Oh, hell no, he's talking.
stalking and kidnapping."
Well, that's
Oh
definitely
no.
that's the epitome of horrorcore, man. Yo, I thought I was listening to Crook the Savage for a minute, bro. I was like, whoa,
I just feel like
that's
a lot
so.
of rappers rely on some of that shock value to cover up some of their lyrical ability and cadence ability. That's just my opinion. That's what I've always thought about that genre. A lot of the artists, like maybe 70% of them, but there also is a lot of that have a lot of talent and that are pretty good. Like I've always been a fan of Tech stuff like that. Like I don't know.
Someone said this low key reminds me of this rapper I listened to named J Raw.
Bro, bro, that is definitely bro, that is definitely Jacob.
Yo, it's gotta be him. It's on
That's
YouTube.
definitely
Yo,
Jacob.
what a fucking clown, yo.
Dude, that is definitely Jacob, bro.
I fucking hate this show
Dude,
now.
why
Like,
does he have like what is his cover? That is a white man. You are a white man. Why is it?
it looks like Barack Obama.
Dude, no, that is not. That is like
I
looks
can't
like
see it from the chat line.
that looks like the guy from Marvel.
All right, so let's get in. Let's get into the feedback here. Shout out to the damn. I can't believe there's fucking 30 people. All right,
What?
be
Yeah,
careful.
that
He
shit
said
definitely
the,
wasn't from me. I don't. Yeah, I don't even know. You said that, so that would be considered horrorcore.
that was definitely horrorcore. Yes.
Yeah, I don't know. Like, I don't know. He said I forget what he said, but he like said something like weird in the beginning, and I just kind of tuned out after that.
Well, what did he say?
I don't remember something about fucking like it was just like it's like some some twisted shit, killing something or
Around the corner with my zip.
Oh yeah.
like
Someone said turn back on the pickle song.
like there's like I don't know like there's a reason like like Mob Deep, for example, like they had their own way and style about like telling how it is in the streets, like some people have a way about it that makes it look cool, and then some people it's like, yeah, bro, talk about something else.
I definitely see it. It's hard to say. Can I get some people in the chat, Ty Sav, Cryptic Carmen, to weigh some feedback into this song? Some people that you know
Yeah,
have.
like how about some of people from actually enjoy that music? Like how yeah, Cryptic, how did you feel about that song? Like that'd be a good example.
Someone said that was a Jacob Rao type beat.
Woo,
Yo,
who
who is trolling, bro? This I want to see Jacob Rao. I want to see Jacob Rao comment at the same time as these fucking profiles.
Bro, what is happening in the chat? I made
This
him an admin in the group and he doesn't know how to act, or did someone just like
Just say it. Someone said just say it sucked. Uh damn, Cryptic said just turn back in. I didn't get to hear it. So Sinkin said
why
just
did my dad just text me say no homie, that horrorcore is real as fuck? I thought the vocals were crisp as fuck. He literally just my dad just texted me
Oh,
that.
see, I wasn't a fan of the mix. I don't think unless you're listening off a phone right now, I don't think the vocals sounded crisp at all. I think they sounded like they were recorded off of probably a cheaper microphone, and the
Yeah,
EQing
that's
on
what
that.
I was saying. I
The
was
E-
like, what the
Saying it sucked isn't constructive. Thank you, bro. Thank you. We give constructive criticism on this. We actually give real feedback. So if you're just coming on this show to say that the songs suck, the door's to the left, bro. This is a real community that we're building. Appreciate you though for tuning in. So anyway, so yeah, so DJ Mo is a producer homie of mine actually.
I mean,
Yeah,
I don't
so
know, sometimes I feel like saying like letting them know that it sucked is probably some of the best advice you can give them.
there's no advice in saying it sucked, bro. Like there's a
Yeah,
thousand
there
ways
is
that
there
there's a
is there is it's saying find another hobby.
Because there was somebody that submitted a horrorcore song, right? Because this guy says I have horrorcore artists, right? He has someone that has a hint of horrorcore. Okay? No disrespect to Tech because Tech is fucking legendary, but Tech is not horrorcore. But he says Tech is his favorite horrorcore artist, right? So Tech is horrorcore adjacent, you know? So are the artists that he considers horrorcore, whatever, fuck it. Here's the thing. He played a song, the mix wasn't great, the artist wasn't great, and I'm not saying that I am and that my mixes are great, but when they played my shit, the first guy straight up admitted he didn't even fucking listen, right? All they said was, I don't really like horrorcore. Does anybody, have any input? And then the other guy's like, oh, sometimes you just got to tell people they fucking suck. You know what I mean? And it's like, okay. And trust me, that doesn't hurt. That does not hurt. Because I've been told I suck by a lot of fucking people. That's fine. It's whatever. Old hat, you know what I'm saying? Like, it ain't even a big deal. But for you to say that you offer constructive criticism, motherfuckers didn't even rate my shit. You know what I'm saying? They didn't even rate it. Let's just move on to the next one. It's like, bro, if you guys are fucking scared, just say you're fucking scared. That's it. I don't want to see these people, fucking horrorcore. Oh, he talked about killing. Well, what the fuck did you expect, motherfucker? You know what I'm saying? I don't want to see you even don't even watch a fucking horror movie if you're that much of a fucking bitch. You know what I mean? For real, dude, it's some fucking bullshit. You know, all that I've gone through in this fucking 16 fucking years for you to just throw it like that, you know, act like this shit ain't fucking like, bro, the mixes that I had were better than half the shit they played, and they were being fucking cool. And it's like the moment my shit came on, I swear to God, bro, their attitudes all fucking changed. And I was like, you know what? If this is what I'm gonna have to keep fucking dealing with, man, you know, if this is the shit I have to deal with little to no love, you know, then why the fuck do I do this shit, man? I'm fucking killing myself. I've got like no time outside of fucking working this. That's why I made that post, you know? It's not that I want to fucking quit. It's not that I'm so fucking tired, and you know, it is, but not entirely, you know. But I'd like to share those clips, and I'd like to answer the questions that or not the questions, but address the comments, you know, that were left to me on Facebook on that post. Let me see. Just so you know, I don't miss anything when it comes to that, because I didn't respond to anything on there. Unfortunately, I just that day I just kind of didn't want to deal with it. But in case you're not 100% sure which post I'm talking about, I said, gave 15 years of my life to horrorcore. What do I have to show for it? Most of my homies are dead. The rest don't even talk to me. The reason why I said that shit is because, you know, I have so many fucking homies, family, friends, all sorts of people that are just dead already, you know, and I think we all do. But a lot of my homies, they just, I don't know, they just don't talk to me, you know. Some of them I kind of grew apart from, you know, because I was trying to fucking grow my shit, you know, spend so much time doing this that you don't have time for friendships or relationships, you know. See, making music used to be therapy, and at one point in time, you know, I was writing a lot about my emotions, my mental illness, you know, all that shit, and it helped me out a lot. But when I say there was never room for me in this music shit, I truly felt that. I felt like, you know, I tried doing it locally and I got shit on. You know, I tried to do it on a bigger scale and I broadly got ignored, you know. Um, and basically going through real quick. All right, so Vampy Toy, do it for you and nobody else. And I did, and I do it for me. But realistically speaking, an artist, uh, I mean, an artist does do it for people to hear the music. You know, it's like telling a story. I don't need to hear the story. I'm the one that wrote it. You know, and that's rough. You know, um, homie Alex Montana from back in the day, another homie that, you know, from the ciphers and shit back in the day. He says, "Shut your mouth and don't give up. Me missing out on music haunts me daily." And what I have to say to him is, honestly, homie, that's why you're saying that. Because if you would have stuck it through for all these years like I did, man, you'd probably be feeling what I'm feeling. Maybe not actually, because you know you had a totally different style than me, but we were still homies, you know. Um, they say it goes wrong just before it goes right. Come on, bro. Yeah, but you know, I could also be digging for another 15 years before I strike gold. And honestly, man, I'm not a young pup anymore, man. I've got a fucking heart problem. I've got a fucked up knee. You know what I mean? Um, Alexander, we love you. Stay strong. Marie, I'm here if you want to talk. Let me see. Shouldn't force yourself to create. If you want to keep making music, do it without worrying if people are going to consume it. I mean, honestly, that's that. I don't know, man. A lot of people say that shit. Oh, do it for you, do it for you. But you know, at the end of the day, I'm doing it for horrorcore. You know what I mean? I'm doing it to keep the genre alive. In my eyes, that was my whole main goal. So it's not. I guess it's not so cut and dry. I say do what's best for you, what you feel like doing. If you want to keep going, that's great. Let's see. Real easy for people to tell you, come on here and tell you to keep going when they never like shit. Yeah, I feel that. I understand that. But at the same time, like I said, it's not their obligation. It was my choice, you know, to make the music. And I mean, I do appreciate that from somebody outside because they see it, you know. And it's true, you know. People do show up, you know, at the end there, and uh, and don't want you to quit, but you know, won't be there the whole time. Like I said, that's neither here nor there. Don't give up. Don't give up. You told me to keep pushing. Okay, yeah. So it's Jeremy, man. I did tell you to keep pushing and not to give up because you know your instrumentals and shit. People look, people actually bought your shit, man. You know what I mean? That means something. And I'm not trying to talk about money because I don't fucking care. If I quit horrorcore right now, I'd still be making the same amount of money. If anything, I'd be making more money because I wouldn't be spending it on my shit, right? But just the 2 or 3 beats I bought from you, bro, that's more than I've made in like 16 years of music. You know what I mean? Um, Chris Brown, I hung it up all for a good while before I met Nick Lorton. Look where I'm at now. All right, so for that homie, much love, much respect. You know, Chris, you're the homie and shit. 100%, bro. Be appreciative that you have somebody that's willing to help you and support you, bro. Like, always be appreciative of that because I have been like I have been me. Like there's no one else like to pull me up by my bootstraps. Like there really ain't. Like when you have a homie like that, like Nick, that's grinding. I see him all the time, bro, grinding and grinding and grinding. When you have that, man, and then you're pushing from the front of the you know of the graphic design and all this shit, and then you got Bank Hard working up the beats, and man, you guys got a fucking combo that any artist would fucking die to have, bro. So all I can say about that is just be fucking grateful, bro, because that's amazing. And I'm so proud of you guys. You know, you guys, I seen it. You're telling me, look where I'm at now. Shit, I seen it. I seen it, bro. You guys were, you guys are killing it. So keep killing it, man. But unfortunately, like, it's fucking hard when you're by yourself, bro. And that's basically all I got to say about that. I'd go through all of them, but a lot of them are kind of saying the same shit, you know. Don't give up, don't give up. Um, but yeah, anyway, you know, didn't mean to rant, didn't mean to bitch, you know, but I just figured I'd let you guys in on you know where my head's at. You know what I mean? And it may almost be time, you know, to do it.